All right, welcome back to Arc Salt Lake. It is your Tuesday morning. Time right now is 7:34. We're going to be talking with our criminally obsessed team right now. You may have heard the name Lindsay Clancy. She is on trial right now for the murder of her 3 young kids. It's a disturbing case, and she's claiming it was caused by postpartum psychosis. That is her defense. Ann Emerson with Criminally Obsessed joining me right now. Good morning, Ann. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Lincoln. I'm doing well, thank you.
All right, let's talk about this case. Yesterday was the first day of the trial. I actually had not heard the name before, so I looked into it yesterday. It really is, the details are really disturbing. So give us a recap of what this case is about and what happened yesterday.
Well, this case, it started yesterday. The opening statements for Lindsay Clancy, she's this young mom. She was a labor and delivery nurse. She's now accused of killing her 3 children by strangling them. Her 3 very small children. They were 5, 3, and 8 months old back in 2023, and then trying to take her own life by jumping out a second-story window. It left her paralyzed, and that is who we see now in the as the defendant, Lindsay Clancy. She's in a wheelchair. She's accompanied by her priest, her family, her sister, her doctor. She's been at a hospital ever since this happened, and she is accused of doing this. But what her defense is, Lincoln, is that she was suffering from postpartum psychosis. So that really is going to be at the center of this trial, and it really is a groundbreaking trial as we try and unpack what that psychosis really is.
So she had sent her husband away to get food and medicine, and then that's when this all happened?
That's right. So what we heard from the opening statements was that, and we had known this, Patrick Clancy had left really just not for very long at all. He had just gone to pick up food, and while he was gone, this all took place. And, you know, the thing about this case, too, is that Patrick Clancy is and has openly, publicly defended his wife in that that she is not a monster, that she was suffering greatly with this psychosis. And the psychosis, from what we understand, causes hallucinations. She said she had voices talking to her, telling her to do these things, instructing her, delusions. She had already been, suffering from what we've been told with severe depression and battling that. And it was, her defense is that it was worsened by the medications and by how it was handled medically, that no one got a handle on it, and it spiraled out of control, obviously. So no one is saying that, no one is saying that this didn't happen, that these children were not strangled by her, or that she jumped out of the window afterwards. None of that is up for debate. It's about why and whether or not postpartum psychosis is a reason.
And to be clear then, like you just mentioned it, her husband is essentially standing by her in the case then?
Well, right now, we've only seen him on the stand for the prosecution. We understand that he's going to be crossed by the defense, and he has made these statements. We know that both him and Lindsay are suing parts of the medical establishment over what happened to her and the medications that she was given, that sort of thing. So that's happening in civil court as well. But the prosecution wants her to be held criminally responsible. Her defense wants her to be able to not be held criminally responsible by reason of insanity.
And then I know we're going to learn more throughout this trial, but have there been any glimpses in the lead up to it that she was showing signs of postpartum depression or psychosis or anything? Had we heard about any warning signs before it happened?
Yes, and it's going to be exactly, the jury really has to look at this. It's such a difficult case for a jury, by the way, but they are going to have to look at this and understand, like, yes, she's not saying that this didn't happen. They're saying that there was a medical diagnosis, a reason for it. So the defense is, not set up their case, besides the opening statements, but they're saying, look, you cannot ignore the fact that she went and tried to get help. She tried to get medication. She went to the doctor. She was checked into an in-treatment center. Prosecution saying that doesn't matter. She knew what she was doing. According to the prosecution, the state wants to say she knew what she was doing, but they have a high hill to climb, right? That this was premeditated in that way. They're very different lenses that they have on this case. It's going to be incredibly controversial. We're watching it closely, and I know that one of the things, Lincoln, is that the defense lost one thing with the judge. They really wanted other women who had suffered with this postpartum psychosis, which is very different from just a postpartum depression. They wanted these women to come forward and testify, and that was shot down by the judge. He wants to keep it to experts talking about this medical diagnoses. So yes, there were signs. I mean, her husband has already said on the stand, and he'll be back tomorrow. They're in recess today, that she had come to him a couple of months before with intrusive thoughts about harming her children. He asked her, do you have a plan to do that? And she said no. So he believed that she was still safe to some degree as a mom, but her parents were there. There were a lot of signs. We just need to know whether or not she can be held responsible for this.
How long is this trial expected to last?
Well, it looks like it could go 6 to 8 weeks. We don't know for sure. I've already seen how this has gone a little bit faster. Jury selections seem to go much smoother and more quickly. So it could be shortened to a month, but I'm planning on 6 weeks.
Okay, and Emerson with Criminally Obsessed, I know you'll be tracking this one, and I'm sure this is a case we'll be talking about again in the future. So thank you for giving us the update this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, just a reminder for everybody, Ann is the investigative reporter for Criminally Obsessed, our new true crime team. If you're one of those people who loves true crime all the time, you're going to want to check out her daily show on YouTube. She has the fascinating deep dives on the stories that everyone is talking about. Just click on the QR code, scan that QR code right there on the screen, and you will find Ann's interviews. You can also listen to the Criminally Obsessed podcast on YouTube, on Apple and Spotify.